Hello, Pocono Mountains and Lake Wallenpaupack region. Bridget Gelderman with Davis R Chant. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in our market and what the status is of selling your home in our real estate market here in the Pocono Mountains. I am sure if you're local here, you are definitely getting information from realtors just on listing your house, and you're probably feeling like, oh my goodness, if I do want to list my house, where do I begin? And so I thought I'd just chat a little bit with you about that, especially since, first of all, right now there is a ton of snow on the ground, but temperatures are warming up, and I do think that that is going to hopefully soon be a distant memory, and we will be moving on to spring and summer. So anyway, once we push the snow aside, literally speaking, let's discuss how we can, if you're interested, how do you go about listing your house? Of course, you do need to prepare your house to put it on the market, and I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube page, so definitely use those resources there. And you can always reach out to me and we can go through the house, and I can point out things that I would suggest, or perhaps you're ready to go because you've been working on it for a while. But anyway, let's talk about the three things that are coming to mind right now when you're going to list your house. I would suggest the first thing is list with a local agent. I'm seeing some listings out there that aren't with a local agent, and we just saw one agent list a house completely out of state, didn't put it in our MLS, and he did get an offer, he did put it under contract, but I just think, how many people did he miss? Did he miss a bidding war? Did that seller end up selling their house for less than they could have if they got the most amount of exposure possible? And if you're not in our MLS and you're not out there being marketed locally, you could very well be missing out on potential buyers. So that would be one thing that I would suggest. The next is, I would definitely, in this market, list with an experienced agent. They're going to have to use some various tools to price your house, especially in this market. Not only are they going to have to look to the past as to what's happened, but they're going to have to look to the future. If anyone knows me, you know that I keep lots of data. So I keep years worth of information and data, and I always refer to this. And when I do a CMA, I definitely look back on historically what has happened, what's selling, but then I also try and look ahead. Where's the market going? And our market is definitely at this point going up, so you have to keep that in mind. But the bottom of the market, and I talk about this a lot, was 2015, which was our average sales price at the end of that year, if you combine all of the months, was $149,500. We're now at 226. We ended 2020 at 226,735. So that's a 50% increase in value over 5 years. And I would say even over the last 2 years. So if you had a market analysis done in 2018, you're going to see that those prices have gone up tremendously. A lot of our gain was in the last couple of years, and you could be looking at 25 to 30% increase. So keep that in mind, but it's also very, very important to keep in mind that it depends on where your house is located for those increases. So that's not across the board. So I don't want anyone to start thinking that, oh my goodness, my house is worth, X amount percentage more than it was. It really just definitely depends on where your house is located. And some areas are going up faster than others, so keep that in mind too. So it definitely helps to look to somebody that has some experience and can use various tools to price a house. And then also, even though it's a very good market, you still want to make sure your house is going to shine out there and it's going to look amazing. So, the photos are great, that there's 3D tours, that there's some marketing. I do a lot of social media marketing, you know that. But then I also create other things out there. So, that help with some of the marketing. Oh, actually, here's a distinctive properties flyer that I do. So these are really helpful in terms of what's out there to get your house and get the exposure that you need. And then of course I have a home seller's guide, and it goes through what you need to do to list your house. Once it's on the market, what happens, and showings and negotiating, and all of this is put into a nice handy guide. So it's another thing that I compiled over years worth of working with sellers. So those are some things just to keep in mind in terms of the marketing, just to make sure you get as much exposure as possible, because that's very, very important in a seller's market. And then the third item that I would like to point out is that you're going to get qualified offers from buyers, that the due diligence has been done, especially if you're in a multiple bid situation, you know, negotiating the best offer so that you can actually get to the closing table. That's super important. So making sure that those offers are qualified and that everything is included when presenting the offer to you as the seller. So anyway, those are my tips. A little longer video, but I had a lot of information to share. So I hope that you find that to be helpful. If you have any questions, would like me to meet with you, I would be happy to. Either send me a message on Facebook or give me a call or shoot me an email. I will put my contact information in this post. So thanks so much. Stay safe out there in the snow and you know, during COVID. So anyway, thank you. Bye.